2-2 Walters, right-handed pitcher. Leans back slightly, comes home. Kistler grounds one through the right side, base hit. Egan scores. This game's tied. Racing for third is Rowe. She slides in. Katie Kistler ties us at 5 in the third with an RBI single. 1-0 is rocked to center. Falby going back at the track, makes the leaping grab before crashing into the wall. 2 away. Walters trying to keep her off the base paths. 3-2 is hammered deep right center field, and that is well out of here. Skylar Wallace solo shot belted to right center field into the trees, and it's 1-0 Florida. 3-2. She swings and jacks one deep right field. No doubter. Skylar Wallace 2-homer game into the trees once more, and the Gators lead 4-0. Kerpix pinwheels home. Swung on, lifted, center field. Goodnight at the track, at the wall. Jumps up and can't get it.
Wow.
Skylar Wallace sends us home with a 3-run shot. A 3-homer game. Gators win 13-4 in run rule fashion over the Bulldogs.
Vanderbilt driving from right to left. Wynn has it on the wing. 3 players charging into the box. Right-footed cross. It falls for Kelly. Left-footed shot past Goldberg. A brace for Reagan Kelly. Vanderbilt leads 4-1. Brighton lined up to take the free kick. Strikes it with her right foot and puts it in the back of the net. Top right bin. It's 5 for Vanderbilt, and it's a 3-goal lead once again. 16 all here in the third. Lauren Forbes serving from the far side for Mizzou. Stuckey, quick to the middle for Kelly. Tip shot dug out by Mangwell Duran. Great awareness from her. Free ball for Florida. Stuckey, quick to the middle for Kelly. Once more, off-speed shot finds the donut. Gators take a 17-16 lead. They could sure use a service error or just someone to step up clutch as Brower sends it over, just sneaks over the net. Adams with a good handle. Stuckey passes to Markova, far side, tip shot, block. She takes another chance. Her second effort is dug out. Back row attack from Evans. Cut shot, dug out by Beeson. Stuckey passes wide to Markova. That's dug out by Brower. Cox to Stivrins. Her shot dug out by Beeson. Stuckey passes forward and thundered home by Marina Markova. Her 7th kill.
So it brings Jordan Hutchins to the dish, who, her last time up, of course, went yard. 3-run shot, the big blow in this ball game. Slightly to the opposite field. Went for the camera well. And I know we've had our wonderful camera crew, they've been on high alert in this Black and Gold Classic. Jeremy nearly got hit by one yesterday, but flashed the 2 thumbs up. So glad he's okay, and the camera is okay as well. Of course, Jeremy's health comes first. Already a great day for Jordan Hutchins. 2 for 2 with that 3-run homer. And just good to see her back in the game, because if you remember, in the 3rd inning, she was hit by a pitch in the helmet.
Responded nicely with a home run.
An angry swing.
Yeah.
Two-1 sails off the dish.
In her first at bat, I was really impressed with how well she just showed her discipline. It was just so impressive to me, being a leadoff, doing exactly what she needs to be doing, seeing a lot of pitches, ended up getting a base hit out of it. Just a great example of what a leadoff hitter should do, and here she goes again.
She's reached all 4 times today as DePasquale issues her 2nd walk.
All in different ways.
Yeah. Single back in the first, the hit by pitch like we talked about in the 3rd, the home run, and now a walk.
Saw Flores, who's about to see her first pitch in this at-bat, taking a large tomahawk swing, I think after she flew out to left field last time, trying to counteract that.
Oh, and this one's to left field and deep, and you can kiss it goodbye. Aaliyah Flores, a 2-run shot at 7-1 Boise State here in the 6th.
Well, that pre-at-bat swing really paid off, huh?
I'd say so. Aaliyah Flores getting every bit of that ball There's a no-doubter off the bat that was going to clear the left field fence here. Oh, that ball is just too far up in the zone. So beautiful.
Still one out here in the 6th after that 2-run moonshot by Aaliyah Flores.
I think Di Pasquale is really wishing she had that one back. That location is it's too sweet for a hitter to let go. Flores got all of it and some.
And here's a player in Sydney Groves, who is 1 for 2 today, but is always thinking about the next generation. The interview with Groves last spring said she was really excited to play at Boise State, mostly because of the community. She said the little girls are my favorite, and it's going to be so fun seeing them out on the hill, which is where they watch the games at Boise State, when she sends something or makes some cool play. She's ready to hit some homers for them. She also said that you should try to be a figure to the younger generation. I know there's always someone looking up to me, so I strive to have my best self put out there all the time for those girls, and just to have them know that they can do whatever they want to do. She's an Idaho native, so an icon really for the young girls that can watch her play, and they did so. People are really looking up to Sydney because kids actually came to her high school games wearing Here for Sid t-shirts. I mean, I could not believe my eyes when I saw the pictures. It was too adorable. I mean, there were some really young kids and just some slightly younger kids that are probably ready to play college ball soon. She pops up to short. Pantoja's there, and there's out number 2.
It's so neat, too, because, you know, we've all been there. If you've played softball in college, then you played before, and you've always looked up to someone. And so it's really neat to be able to embrace that role, and how neat that a freshman already understands the impact that she can have on that next generation and not taking it for granted. Because sometimes when you're in the middle of it, you know, you're so focused on being your best that you sometimes forget or you take it for granted. And that's just really neat to hear that about Sydney Groves, that she's definitely inspiring the next generation. And, you know, who knows, might be some Boise State softball players in the making.
Reminds me of that Seinfeld episode where George accidentally promises a kid that a Yankees player is going to hit 2 home runs for him. And it's a player that does not go yard, and then he does. That's Sydney can go yard, and she will for those kids.
No empty promises.
Someone who did go deep last time up, Serena Hutchinson. 2-hit day. That's way outside.
It is a really neat part of the game, though. I mean, I remember being a kid and going and watching the USA team when they would come into town with, you know, some of the greats like Dot Richardson, Lisa Fernandez. I mean, some of the best players to ever play the game. And it really inspired me, you know, and it was the first Olympic team in 1996. Those were some of the stars from that team. So being able to watch them live is really inspiring. Now, of course, with how much the sport has grown and how many amazing broadcasts we get to see, it's grown the game that way as well. And you get to be inspired from afar. So I've loved being a part of the game in so many ways. It's something really special.
Over 3,000 broadcasts on the ESPN family of networks this year for softball. Should be an exciting 2023. And you mentioned that Team USA and Danielle Henderson, coach of UMass. That's a player. Played with Dot Richardson, who's now the Liberty head coach. Laura Berg over at Oregon State.
So many of those great Olympians continuing to inspire the next generation and giving back to the sport, teaching them what they learn and what they know.
Oh, look what I found. Nice play by Di Pasquale. Goes 1-3 to end the side, but Boise State strikes for 2 more. Aaliyah Flores, the 4th homer in the last 3 innings for the Broncos, up 7-1.
Back here on the pregame show ahead of Game 3 for the Gators in Fayetteville, taking on Arkansas. Nevada Cullen now joined by Gator head coach Tim Walton. Coach, you said after Game 1 that the team didn't take advantage with runners in scoring position, and that changed last night in a big way. How exciting was it to see the offense take advantage of opportunities, especially in that 6-run 6th?
Yeah, it was good. You know, we had a walk, we had a hit-by-pitch. Kendra lays down a really good bunt. We had another hit-by-pitch. Charlotte's home run early in the game, and Sarah's obviously home run down in the game was really clutch. Nothing better than the double by Charlotte in the left center gap. But yeah, I mean, that's the key. It's the name of the game, and our good players have to be really good, and our pitchers have to keep us the ball in the ballpark. But I think the key, we talked about taking advantage of your opportunities, and being able to hit with runners in scoring position sounds like an easy thing to do, but at the end of the day, you got to do it to win.
You brought up Sarah's home run. Sarah Longley with a clutch 3-run homer gave you guys the lead, and then you led the rest of the way. I want to know what you talked to her about before that at bat, because I saw you say something to her. What was it?
We just talked about, in that situation with a runner on second and third, be able to, you're going to get a ball elevated. You got to do a really good job with the leverage count. You got to do a good job of hitting that ball, to center field. Like, get you a ball that you can drive to center. And that was really all she was doing. I thought she chased the first 2 swing and misses were pitches that were a little bit too far away from her. And then obviously you rewatch the ball on the home run, and that ball was in the same height as the 2 swing and misses. It was just over the plate a little bit more. She was on time and put a charge into it.
Yes, she did. And then in the circle last night, Riley Trilicek really impressed in relief. 4 innings, just 1 hit, no runs, and tied her season high with 5 strikeouts. Arkansas was putting runners on base early. How did Riley's performance help build momentum in shutting Arkansas down and then letting the bats work?
Well, I think you look at 2 factors. Number 1, she did a really good job. We played good defense behind her as well. She was pounding the zone. Number 2, when I see it's a little different. They were down in the game yesterday and the swings changed. We were down in the game on Friday night. The swings changed. We were up in the game on Saturday and the swings changed in a positive way. So I think there's a lot to score. Score does. I'm always so impressed with somebody who can hit when their team's down. There's nothing better than hitting a game-winning home run, a walk-off home run when you're down in the count or down in the game. To me, that's one of the most clutch genes you can have. I'm not saying it's easy to hit home run when you're ahead in the game, but it's definitely a lot different.
And then finally, to kill time before the late game yesterday, the team went to a retrocade. I don't know if it was just having a fun time there or maybe your dominance in that track and field game, but the team played loose last night. How important is it for the players to stay loose today in a high-pressure SEC game and facing a pitcher like Shanice Dels?
Well, number 1, Shanice Dels is the key. She didn't play on Saturday. She played on Friday. And I told you this before. When you have an All-American, especially when you're a first-team All-American name in front of you, that's a big difference. That's the name. It's fast-pitch softball for a reason. You got a really good pitcher. You got a chance to win every single game. And she's done a really good job in her career, as a transfer here to Arkansas. But the retrocade was fun. It wasn't by design until we pulled up to the place. I saw it. I was like, wow, this looks interesting. We go to have a really good brunch yesterday. And before we even went into the brunch, I checked to see exactly what time this retrocade opened. And unbeknownst to me, when you open the doors to this place, you got 2 large buildings of 1980s retro games, track and field. I think Coach Thomas is dominating Galaga and set a program record in the Galaga game. But we had a blast. And some of the girls never even heard of probably most of those games. And the cool thing is some were just making friends, some were having fun, and some were out there trying to dominate each other and play and really get after it. It was a really good time. I'm glad we did it. It was something that was not scheduled, but definitely something on the fly. Helped us play well last night. And like you said, I hope it just carries over. We just keep having fun and being loose.
Yeah, and hopefully the team can get a win for Coach Thomas on his birthday.
Yes, sir. Happy birthday. Go Gators.
Yep. Best of luck today, Coach. Gators and Razorbacks coming up next on the Gators Sports Network from Learfield.
Halftime score, number 14 seed Kentucky 22, number 11 seed Florida 21 in what was a wild first half of action out from Greenville, South Carolina. Let's take a look at what happened in the first half. First, the first quarter, Kentucky started strong, an 18-12 lead at the end of the first frame. That ended with a 9-2 run by the Wildcats, and the Gators trailed by 6 heading into the second quarter. It took the Gators 3 minutes to get a basket in the second quarter, but when that basket came, it was Nina Rickards that hit the jumper.
Kentucky 20, Florida 12. There's been only 2 points scored in this quarter, 3 minutes in. Rickards, free throw line jumper is in. Finally, the Gators get points in the second quarter.
Boy, did Florida need that.
And then everything just went crazy after that, because with UK leading 22-14 in the second quarter, tensions boiled over. And, well, we'll just let you hear what happened.
Brittany, let's set the scene here. So Tati Weish got a rebound, was frustrated by something, and then I thought she was just throwing a pass, and then she just threw a fastball at somebody's head, and then went charging towards Asia Petty, who was walking back to her bench, and everybody came off the Gator bench to hold her back.
So upon further rewatching of what actually happened, Asia Petty of Kentucky sort of rubbed the ball in Tati Weich's face, and she retaliated, throwing that basketball, missing Asia Petty, and then the players came off the benches. Eventually, a bunch of players ejected, at least 4 from each team. Zippy Broughton got ejected for the Gators, but, I mean, she's out for the season. But for Kentucky, Sanaya Tyler, Anaya Russell, Cassidy Rowe, Zanaya Thomas, all ejected, and Petty was teed up. But for Florida, the bigger losses for sure. Rashea Kyle, Tati Weish, Talia Weish, and Faith Dute all ejected, leaving Florida with no post players and only 2 bench players. But the Gators stormed back after that. They took that break, that rest, and they carried the momentum. And part of that momentum came with a Leilani Correa triple that cut the lead to 3.
Ricard center of the floor, lobs it short corner left teens. We're trailing Correa left wing. Free is Cash. Florida right back in it. And a timeout.
That came with 2:38 left in the second quarter. KK Deans finished off the quarter with a bucket, made it a 1-point game. Florida finishes the second quarter on a 7-0 run and are just 1 point behind Kentucky after that old-fashioned brouhaha. So going over those halftime stats for you real quick. Gators struggling from the floor, 28% shooting. Kentucky shooting 32%. Both teams 1 of 9 from 3. And struggling from the line as well, 43% for Kentucky, 50% for Florida. And the rebounding battle, the Gators have evened it back up after Kentucky had a sizable lead in that category. It's now 23-22 in favor of the Wildcats on the boards. So we'll take another break, and when we come back, we'll continue the halftime show. Your halftime score, 22-21, Florida trails Kentucky. You're listening to Florida Women's Basketball on the Gator Sports Network.